welcome to the Nikazuki Knits podcast. This is episode 54 and today is Friday, August 4th, 2017 and I'm back. Hi! I am really sorry that's taken me so long to record. Yeah, I don't even really have a reason why, I just haven't felt like recording, but I do now. And I'm hoping that I can start actually recording once a week or at least every 2 weeks again. I have actually been reprioritizing business and personal life, and so I'm trying to do a better balance so that A, I have knitting to show you, and B, I can actually show you also product. We are going to follow a similar format from now on, that I will do a podcast for my knitting, and then we will do a shop update so that I don't feel like I have to have both at the same time. Now, those might alternate each week, so you end up with like a new product podcast one week and a knitting podcast the other week, or they might be back to back. This week we're going to do both at the same time, so I have knitting to talk about now, and then I will have and chatter and all the normal things, and then I'll do a separate one for the new products, because I did actually introduce two new products for Calgary Stampede, and that was tablet covers as well as unlined tote bags. So they're all up on the site right now, but I figured, hey, you may as well see them here as well. So let's actually just jump right into it, because what else should we do actually? So I also wanted to say thank you so much for sticking around with me. I know a lot of you have been waiting for a podcast, and yeah, thanks so much. It does mean a lot to me. So let's go right into the whips. One of the whips is the Telluride Aran. This is by Amy Herzog out of Madeline Tosh. Tosh Vintage in liquid gold. Last time you saw this, I hadn't finished the sleeve yet, so the sleeve is finished. I've picked up and I've started the collar, and then I'll have one more sleeve, and then it will be done. Those cables are showing up spectacularly on the camera. So I am loving it still. I will be very happy for it to be done though. That one sleeve, I don't know why, I just kept stalling out on, and I'm still stalling out on the whole sweater, and I just want it done. Don't know why, just not quite in it right now. I'm doing socks out of Sport Weight. You've seen these before. They're just kind of happening as they happen. I am past the heels now though, so I did just do a short row heel as I was knitting up, because I really don't care. They're not matched already, so I figured may as well just keep knitting, and then I don't have to go back and add the heel in, which will be amazing because it's one of the things I don't like doing. So I'm working on those. That's some sort of Regia digital color something or another. I don't actually know the name of it or any other information. I am also, because I'm going to Knit City, working on the Doodler now. The part of why I actually delayed recording this episode was because I wanted to be through section 1 at least. I am actually through section 1 and 2. I got the cable section done. But unfortunately I'm not through to a good point on the section 3 yet. So I can't spread it out for you guys, and I'm sorry for that, but I am knitting this currently for Knit City. The gray is Flock Fiber MCN Weather Vane. The variegated here is Flock Fiber Princess Tiger Cub on their Hoarfrost. It's got some stellina in it. And then the base, or the section 3, is Skein top drawer sock in Storm Warning, I think. I don't know, I don't have the tags down here with me. And but I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to be very glad also to have this done. Those wedges started to get really long at the end. And can I just mention how very cruel some of these last cables were for this. So difficult, and I don't know if I actually like the look of the Garda Stitch cables. Otherwise I'm really happy with how it's coming out. And I do have a Sucra cupcake on here to mark stuff, so I made an order with her a few months ago actually, and I'm really enjoying the markers. Then finally, a new cast on is actually for the Ancient Arts Yarns Diagonal Ridge Shawl Cal, which runs from August 1st to September 30th. And this is mine. It is out of Ancient Arts Yarns Big Squeeze in their mineral colorway. And I'm over halfway through the central chevron. This pattern's in Knit Simple this month. And I'm not halfway through the first ball, which is nice. I do have bonus size skeins of this. Otherwise, the pattern does actually call for the full amount of yarn. To the point where it's like, you might have to unravel your gauge swatch. So I'm like, okay. But I've got bonus size skeins for those, so I should be more than fine. I'm really liking actually how the ridges are showing up in this pattern, especially with this busy of yarn. And it's so squishy, guys. And it's an amazingly awesome break from the tiny knitting of the Doodler. And even the worsted, because it's on size US 10 6.0 millimeter needles, as well as in the bulky yarn, so it's actually quite amazing. Whereas like the vintage, or the sweater is in worsted and the shawl is in fingering weight, obviously. And here's the other thing, my small box bags hold the Doodler perfectly. So it actually had the 3 skeins in there at one point, and then also the project. The Diagonal Ridge one is living in my Tama bag for right now, so I can take it to the gym. But the 5 skeins of bulky actually fit perfectly in one of my large wedge bags. These socks are just free floating right now. They've been in another Tama bag. And then the sweater is actually living in one of my big bags with the hipster kitty, which looks like Flynn, who is down here attacking the product. Come here. So here's Flynn. He is now almost a year old, and he is 11.5 pounds, guys. He's so big, and look at his tufts. So here's the kitten you haven't seen in a really long time. Hey, you should say hi. No, he sighed. He's not even purring. Usually as soon as I pick him up or pet him, he's purring. Anyway, and then I've got a couple design projects, but as per usual, I can't actually show those. I did finish off Dallas's Night Market socks. I actually woven the ends just recently, and that's all I've actually. I started and finished a pair of rye socks as we were traveling, but I'll show you that next episode since I forgot them upstairs. But I did finish a pair of socks between the time I started, like last time I podcasted and now, so yay. Oh, you guys, this has been a strange 3 months. Oh my goodness, 3 months. I have read a lot because we were traveling a lot. I did actually read quite a bit as well. I finished Illusionarium by Heather Dixon. It's a young adult book. It was really strange, really good, really different concept, but strange. The Forgetting by Sharon Cameron, and that's actually got a sequel coming up, and I'm really excited about that. Charms for the Easy Life by Kay Gibbons. It was okay. Hunted by Megan Spooner. That's a Beauty and the Beast rewrite, and I really enjoyed some of the elements she pulled into that one. I'm really big into retellings of Beauty and the Beast, and this one did not disappoint. Let's see. Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. That was a wild 8-second ride. Obviously it took me longer, but I use that expression because of Royo. Yeah, I can highly recommend that, but it is the first in a series, so if you're one of those people who doesn't like to read books until their whole series is out, definitely wait on it. It does end with quite a ambiguous ending, and so now I'm sitting here on pins and needles waiting for the next book. And then Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. This is the first time I've actually read any of Veronica Roth's work. I really enjoyed it too. Again, first in a series, so don't start it if you don't want to wait. And then I've read through the Mediator series by Meg Cabot, volumes 1 to 4. This is a series I go back to on a regular basis when I'm feeling like reading fluff, because that's exactly what it is. Again, teen romance, just really super easy reads. And then the final book that I just finished was The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington, and I'm really enjoyed that. That's the first book in a trilogy. It's a really long, big book. In fact, so much so that when I went to the library, they looked at me and they're like, that's a really big book. And I was kind of like, well, yeah, I'm also the generation though that read Harry Potter like 10 times in a summer, so legitimately, I probably read it at least 7 to 10. That was Goblet of Fire. Man, I love that book. That is still probably my favorite book of the Harry Potter series. Actually, what's your favorite book of the Harry Potter series? Like, so the first one I actually read was Prisoner of Azkaban, which is kind of dumb, but I enjoy that one. But my absolute favorite is Goblet of Fire. Anyway, what I'm reading right now is actually the sequel to The Crown's Game. It's The Crown's Fate, and so it's a duology, and I just started that, so I'm only about 30 pages in. Enjoying it so far. I'll see how it continues. And Mediator number 5 by Meg Cabot, because there's actually 6 books in that series. I'm reading 5 right now. Haven't really gotten too far into it yet though. So, since I chatted with you last, we went to Calgary Expo. That was decent. I'm always torn about Expo now in Calgary. It's kind of, it's not as good as it used to be. I don't know why. Then we went to Disney, and that was super exciting because we actually went and got our timeshare points, guys. So the Disney Vacation Club points we purchased at a Disney resort, and we get all the benefits of staying on a Disney resort for a quarter of the cost of what we would pay for that similar resort. It is a deluxe resort, so it's quite a bit more expensive than you would pay for like the value or moderate resorts. But the annual dues and fees on it are minimal compared to what we would pay for what we're staying at. We purchased at the Polynesian, and so it's one of the last monorail resorts that they have until they build more, if they build more. One of the original resorts as well. Super cool, Polynesian themed, so it suits us really well, and we're super excited about it. We ended up on a Disney cruise, which was actually one of the best vacation parts we've had in years. I really enjoyed it. I'm wearing actually my Disney Cruise Line hoodie right now. And it was just a 3-day, but it was really cool. And we went down and saw Nassau in the Bahamas. Never been to the Bahamas, so that was neat. And the port excursion we did was the Junkanoo and Forts tour, and the Junkanoo part of that was amazing. So it was like, what was really cool about it is the Junkanoo is actually a parade. It's kind of like a carnival style event. It happens on Boxing Day and New Year's Day, and they make all their costumes out of around the household items. So wire, cardboard, crepe paper, stuff like this, and they're really elaborate costumes. So that was really neat to see. The other really cool thing about that was it was a museum, but the gentleman who gave us the tour was very enthusiastic. He had participated in Junkanoo and is still participating, and you could actually touch these costumes, so that was really neat. So like I tried on some headdresses, and I'll put some photos at the end. Dallas tried them on too. It was really cool. The forts were forts. I don't know what more to say about that. And then they take you around to the Disney private island as well, and that was really nice. They have some really cool amenities for kids, really cool amenities for adults, and as much as I'm a proponent of Disney is for every age, obviously I'm an adult, I still love Disney, I love going as an adult. They do a really good job on these cruise ships too. So that was really awesome. And then I went to Japan. I came back on Wednesday. I had one day and then I left on Friday for Japan. I went around and kind of did the greatest hits tour with my friend and got some more fabric, and that was pretty standard. It was Japan. Japan's always awesome, so there's not much more to say than that, but I really enjoyed it. Then I was at TNNA. I went and I guested with Ancient Arts Yarns. So that was a really neat experience. Slightly overwhelming. It does show that I'm slightly unprepared for the wholesale market, but I'm getting it better prepared, and I am going to be offering quite a bit of wholesale, or quite a few more wholesale opportunities coming soon. It did actually introduce me to some store owners, so I will give you a rundown of where I am being retailed at in the shop update video. So that was really cool. TNNA was really cool. Columbus is a really neat city. It's not somewhere that was like I ever thought of going, but like it was a really cool city, so I'm really glad I got a chance to go. And a really big thanks to Ancient Arts Yarns, because like they hosted me, they put me up, they fed me, everything like that. That was so awesome of them, and it was a really good experience. So let's see, then I was at Olds. So we got home at 3 a.m. on Wednesday from TNNA, and then we went and set up for Olds on Thursday. Like literally it has been a non-stop nearly 3 months. It was 2.5 months by the end. And Olds Fiber Week, as always, was awesome. And then I actually had 2 weeks, and then I was at Stampede to vend as well, which was, it was fine. I met a lot of people. For the traffic, the sales weren't the best, but it was a learning experience. Like I said, met lots of really cool people, talked to a lot of like attendees, which was awesome. Their numbers were really high, so there was a lot of traffic, and that was awesome. But it was an interesting kind of juxtaposition of traffic versus people weren't buying, but they weren't buying from anyone, so everything else was awesome. I do actually have some stash enhancement. I've been really well behaved. I picked up a couple things at TNNA, and I picked up a few things at Olds. I completely forgot it all upstairs though, so I am going to make sure that I actually bring it down and show you next podcast, which there will be a next podcast. Yeah, and really the only other thing is actually the shop update. So I will stop the video here. I am recording on my camera again because I was comparing my iPhone video to my camera video and decided that the quality for the effort is exponentially more on the camera compared to the iPhone. Sound seemed better, light seems better, and it's going to be shooting at a larger range as well, so it's going to look better across more screens hopefully. Let me know if it isn't, but I feel like the little bit of a jump in the middle that will happen is probably worth it. So yeah. So I will be back. This is obviously the episode, and then there'll be a shop update, which will not be a numbered episode. And if you don't want to watch it, I'll chat with you in a week. If you do watch it, thanks so much for joining me for both videos. Thanks, guys. Bye.